Kenyan students protest school killings and demand more security. The World Health Organization's tips for making food safety a priority. And it's an Easter parade of a different kind. The Kardashians are a vision in white on Easter Sunday. Africa 54 starts right now.
Good evening, I'm Vincent McCory. This is Africa 54. We begin in the Kenyan capital, Nairobi, where thousands of university students marched through streets on Tuesday in solidarity with their fallen classmates, calling for security to be enhanced around institutions of higher learning. The march follows last Thursday's massacre by the Al-Shabaab militants who killed 148 people when they stormed the Garissa University College campus some 120 miles from the Somali border. The students chanted slogans and waved placards as they marched, and before later handing a memorandum of their demands to the president's office.
We want to put the pressure on the government to be serious on the security issues, because we are not feeling safe anymore. Like, it's really a pity when you see those pictures of the comrades and the horror pain that their parents are in the major mosques in Nairobi looking for their beloved ones.
This country needs to stand for us because this is so painful. It's so painful. 147 students dying at the hand of a gun.
Well, there was also an inter-religious demonstration in Garissa town where Christian and Muslim leaders condemned terrorism and vowed to never let Al-Shabaab create a wedge between Kenyan communities. Well, Kenya's Interior Ministry has identified one of the Garissa attackers as Abdirahim Abdullahi. He is the son of a Kenyan government official. To learn more about who Abdullahi was, I'm joined by Ado Jubat, a Garissa-based journalist who interviewed Abdullahi's father. Ado, welcome. And one question is, first, it is said that Abdullahi's father is a government official. Can you clarify what exactly the position he holds?
Yes, Makori, the son of one of the suspects, Abdullahi, who has been involved in the killing of 148, is a government official. Is that actually we call it is an administration officer, locally known as chief. So yes. He's a senior chief who has been working in a location in Mandera. So he's a son of a chief,
now
a junior administrator.
Now, Ado, what is it that is known about Abdullahi, the son, from where he grew up and how he ended up in Nairobi?
And Abdullahi, many people I talked to, including his father, was really much traumatized by the incident. Was born in Mandera town. He grew there and he studied in Mandera DEP, Mandera District Education Board School, where after he left there, he really passed well, and he went to join a secondary school, a controversial secondary school in Nairobi, which had been linked to many of the radicalized linked to most of the So he went to Wami Secondary School in South T in Nairobi. So Abdullahi actually was born and grew in his early life in Mandera before he went to Nairobi and joined Wami Secondary School. After really passing well, he is called A-. He's a really stunning grade in Kenya.
Now, is he known to have, we know that he went to Nairobi University and graduated with a law degree. Did he work for some time?
And Abdullahi, yeah, he was very, according to many sources, he was very bright. He passed then in secondary. Later, he joined one of the prestigious universities in Kenya, where he was admitted as a medicine student, but later he didn't have passion for medicine. He went back and did faculty on law. So he's a law graduate. And many people say that he really also done well in his law and faculty in Nairobi University. So he's a professional by law. Later, he joined a local bank in Mandera, where he served for a few months before he left the job. Yes. According to sources I talked to, he said that the job was really not impressing him. So he left even without resigning. So then he disappeared.
And that's when the father reported this to the authorities, right? Yeah.
Yeah, his father actually said that he really recorded that his son went missing 2013. And I even talked to the local county commissioner in Mandera, and he confirmed indeed the father has really reported, and he has been really interested to know where his son is. But some sources that he told the last time he communicated to his family was around the end of 2 or 3, where he called the family from an unknown number, but he never told them where he's calling from.
And sadly, of course, the last is known of him is that he was one of those who participated in the attacks. Ado, thank you very much. Ado Juba is a Garissa-based journalist speaking to us by phone from Garissa town. Now, fierce clashes raged in southern Yemen on Monday between Shia Houthi rebels and forces loyal to the country's president. The Houthis tried to strengthen their positions in the port city of Aden, as well as farther to the west. Witnesses say a foreign warship shelled targets in and around Aden, and Saudi-led coalition airstrikes blasted an airbase north of the city, forcing Houthi fighters to flee the area. Coalition warplanes also carried out airstrikes in the capital Sana'a, hitting a security headquarters. The United Nations Children's Agency says some 100,000 people have been displaced in the conflict in Yemen, while children continue to be killed, maimed, and at risk from disease. Now, Saudi officials are putting pressure on Pakistan to back the coalition of Sunni nations carrying out airstrikes in Yemen. That request could foreshadow an expansion of the military effort to push back rebel Houthis. We get more from VOA National Security Correspondent Jeff Seldin.
The air bombardment over Yemen does little to drown out the growing despair on the ground.
We asked the coalition forces to launch a ground intervention in Yemen because we are facing a disaster. They bombed our houses randomly. We just have these light weapons, and ammunition began to run out.
But a ground offensive against the Houthi rebels could cause more trouble than it solves. One U.S. official tells VOA the Saudis would face an uphill battle against a well-trained force, and they know it. Whether there are even troops for a ground assault now rests in part on a Saudi request to Pakistan for planes, boats, and soldiers. Pakistan's defense minister.
Pakistan has pledged to defend the territorial integrity of Saudi Arabia, and if needed, Pakistan will fulfill this pledge.
Some Pakistani lawmakers are hesitant.
If the holy places in Saudi Arabia are threatened, then everyone, including the army and the people, will offer to fight. But as far as the war in Yemen is concerned, Pakistan should remain neutral in that war.
Already, the Saudis are getting help from the U.S., intelligence and logistics support, and even the offer of aerial refueling for Saudi planes. State Department spokeswoman Marie Harf.
The main goal of this military action is to ensure actually that they get back to political dialogue.
But the longer that takes, the more the dangers grow, both from increased support for the Houthis from Iran and from a terror group bent on attacking the U.S. and other Western targets. Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula, which, according to one U.S. official, is taking advantage of the chaos in Yemen to cultivate more support. Jeff Seldin, VOA News, the Pentagon.
We're turning now to West Africa. When Liberia reopened its borders early this year, many people felt it was premature, with Ebola still rife in Sierra Leone and Guinea. Now, the border is porous and had to control under the best of times. Reporter Ben Amushla traveled to Nimba County, Liberia, and he has more on the situation there.
This is not a legal route to the border with Guinea. Here in the thicket of Liberia's northern Nimba County, locals say there are up to 50 so-called bypasses. Before Ebola struck last year, they were not really an issue. People here have family on both sides of the border and often crisscrossed it. Now, with Liberia closing in on a zero infection rate, informal travel is risky, since Ebola is still a problem in Guinea. But the Liberian government just does not have the capacity to monitor the entire frontier, says Nimba County Inspector Reginald Main.
Even you can bring all the army in Liberia and that borderland, cannot stop somebody from the Liberian side crossing the border Guinea. Because they eat together, they do everything in common. They speak the same dialect.
Despite this, some areas have been untouched by the Ebola virus. In Waipa, a border village of 7,500, Town Chief Francis Pai says there has not been a single case.
We will not allow that. We will not even allow it. It's not even good for it to happen. And we will not allow the person to even leave the town or even enter in the town.
I think it's clear you're hearing it.
Pai says the community is in high alert since learning about Ebola after it struck Nimba County in July.
When we heard it in Owaredu, every one of us, we live like a spring floor. When we hear such a thing, we want to run away. Then we go here, they say it's in Guinea or it's in Salion. Where do we go? We sit down here, worrying where to go and what to do.
Financially stretched, the government could not reach all areas and relied on international help to educate Liberians. Funded by USAID, the American NGO Mercy Corps created a network of some 70 local groups that raise awareness across Liberia. Because they enlisted locals, the community was more likely to trust the message. John Alexander Nyan, executive director of CHESS, the local NGO that took the lead in Waipa, says working with the community is the best way to fight Ebola.
I personally don't strongly believe that if we should close the border, it's going to stop the spread of Ebola. Because the people farm next to, they go to market next to, they come to health facility next to, and when you travel, you don't know the person as a Guinean. They speak the same dialect we speak in Nimba.
Young Liberians from within and outside Waipa inform residents about Ebola every day. They go door to door, answer questions, dispel concerns, and organize a group discussion once a month. And it seems to be working. A few weeks ago, a woman suffering from cancer sought help from a traditional healer in Guinea. When she returned across the border, she died. Alarmed Waipa residents called the authorities in case she had contracted Ebola. Vigilance, they hope, will keep the deadly virus at bay here until the Ebola threat in Guinea is no more. Benno Müchler for VOA News, Nimba County.
We want to know what you think about Africa 54 and the stories we cover. Join the conversation on Facebook. The address is Africa 54. And check out our headlines 24/7 on voaafrica.com. Coming up, the World Health Organization sounds the alarm over unsafe food. Stay with us.
Music is an essential part of who I am, who my family is, and where I come from. Our show that is jazz-focused is called Beyond Category, and we take a very broad concept of what jazz is, but we look about bringing in the greatest jazz artists working to talk about their music and to hear them play.
Well, it's time now for our Tuesday Health Report, and joining us now is Africa 54 Health correspondent Lino Mudu with a special look at food safety. Hello, Lino.
Hello, Vincent. April 7th is World Health Day, and new data released by the World Health Organization on the harm caused by foodborne illnesses underscores the global threats posed by unsafe foods. On World Health Day, the World Health Organization is highlighting the importance of food safety under the slogan, "From farm to plate, make food safe." Dr. Kazuaki Miyagishima, director of the Food Safety Department with the WHO, stresses food safety.
Food can be contaminated by virus, bacteria, parasites, and chemical agents, leading to more than 200 different diseases. Thus, food safety is a major public health issue.
Research conducted by the WHO's Foodborne Disease Burden Epidemiology Reference Group, FERG, shows some important results related to enteric or intestinal infections. They are caused by viruses, bacteria, and protozoa that enter the body by ingestion of contaminated food. The initial FERG figures from 2010 show there were an estimated 582 million cases of 22 different foodborne enteric diseases and 351,000 associated deaths. And over 40% of people suffering from enteric diseases caused by contaminated food were children under the age of 5.
The World Health Organization, WHO, connects different sectors and works with FAO, Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations, to operate a rapid alert system to share information in a timely manner so that we can make food recall and investigation.
Unsafe foods include undercooked foods or animal origin and fruits and vegetables contaminated with fishes. Dr. Miyagishima says addressing the problem requires the need for coordinated cross-border action across the entire food supply chain.
Multi-sectoral collaboration is a key in the time of globalization, where food travels thousands of kilometers from the point of production to the point of consumption. Different sectors such as agriculture, fishery, industry, tourism, trade need to join forces to ensure food safety.
The food results of this research are expected to be released in October. Now joining us on the phone from Grove City, Pennsylvania, is Patricia Buck, Executive Director, Center for Foodborne Illness Research and Prevention. Ms. Buck, welcome to Africa 54.
Hello. It's very nice that you included me today.
Unsafe food is obviously a serious public health problem. Can you tell us your observation in terms of how it affects industrialized countries such as the United States versus the developing world?
Well, in the United States, we have a very serious public health problem with foodborne disease. Actually, 1 in 6 Americans are sickened each year, and that translates into 48 million illnesses, 128,000 hospitalizations, and 3,000 deaths. But worldwide, the problem is even larger. I think it's the World Health Organization that says that there's about 2 billion cases of illness each year, and of those, 1.9 million die, and most of those deaths are children. So CFI is very dedicated to improving awareness about foodborne illness, but also in preventing foodborne illness for the vulnerable populations.
And what are some of the diseases, perhaps 1 or 2 that you can tell us? We've heard about E. coli in the past. We've heard about Salmonella. What can you tell us about some of the most common?
Well, your bacterial illnesses such as Salmonella and Campylobacter and E. coli and Listeria, they all can result in death, but what many people don't realize is that they can also set the stage for long-term health problems, such as Guillain-Barré syndrome, which is a type of paralysis, or hypertension, which is blood,
high blood pressure.
High blood pressure. Mm-hmm. And it can also lead to learning problems and mental retardation. So the long-term effects of some of the foodborne pathogens is very difficult to live with.
Okay, and finally, what are some of the simple steps from the farm to the plate to make sure that the food is safe?
Well, all food handlers need to be aware that food carries risk, and because of that risk, and because foodborne illnesses are generally infectious diseases, which means they can be passed person to person or person to food, and then the food is ingested and it makes the person sick. So knowing this, it's very important for all food handlers to follow the 4 core messages, which are clean, chill, separate, and cook. Of those 4, the one that is important for consumers to really focus on is cooking thoroughly.
We have to leave it there, Ms. Buck. Thank you so much for joining us. And that was Patricia Buck. She's Executive Director of the Center for Foodborne Illness Research and Prevention. That's our Africa Health Report for today. Back to you, Vincent.
Well, Lenore, thanks. And be sure to watch Lenore Mudu's Health Report every Tuesday and Thursday right here on Africa 54. Now, Senegal often relies on expensive imported food and regularly suffers from food price hikes and long hungry seasons. But now the simple idea of eating what is grown locally has already changed the lives of 250,000 people. This report from the International Fund for Agricultural Development shows that it has not only significantly reduced the hungry season, but it has also provided jobs for thousands of people.
It's breakfast time in Niakar village in Senegal. Today there's enough millet for the children to eat as much as they want. But food hasn't always been this plentiful. In this arid area, temperatures are high and rainfall is low, and farmers like Kumba Ndofensene have struggled to grow millet here. And with most Senegalese preferring imported food, the millet they do produce is also difficult to sell. But this year, everything has changed.
Our production has more than doubled, almost tripled. Before, we could not even get to 1 ton of millet, but now we produce 2 or 3 tons per year. And this is more than we can eat in a single year, so we sell the surplus to pay for other things we need.
These changes in Kumba's life are part of a bigger government initiative known as the Agricultural Value Chain Support Program, funded by the International Fund for Agricultural Development, or IFAD. Among its goals, to increase rural incomes, create jobs, and reduce the 6-month hungry season, all based on a very simple idea: developing a taste for local foods, as project evaluator Abdoulaye Ba explains.
If people consumed what is being produced locally instead of importing rice, the revenues would be reintroduced into the agricultural sector. This would develop agriculture in the area and increase the incomes of the rural households. This, in turn, would improve the economy of the whole country.
To bring about these changes, farmers needed encouragement to grow local crops like this millet. So far, almost 9,000 farmers have been trained to use new methods and improved seeds and fertilizers that produce higher yields and better quality crops. But there is no sense in producing more if there is no one to buy it. So the project team had to work with the surrounding community to encourage them to eat local foods. About 700 women so far have been trained to cook with local crops. Not only are they cheaper and more nutritious than imported rice, they've also provided the inspiration for new businesses. This group of women have started combining different local cereals and are packaging it as porridge for babies, selling it in their own shop as well as in the capital. Since the training, many restaurants in this area offer only locally grown food. Restaurant manager Aissatou Cissé used to struggle to earn a living. Now local food and recipes not only give her an income, but she sees it as the future for the whole country.
This can develop our economy. Our economy cannot grow if we keep importing. We need to consume what we produce here in Senegal. It is much better.
And the economy is certainly improving in this area. With a strong local market, Kumba and the other farmers were able to expand their production. Working with the project team, they built a new storehouse, and they can now sell their produce throughout the year without worrying about market fluctuations. With a quality crop and so much surplus to sell, they were able to negotiate regular sales to Nestlé in Ghana. This has had an enormous impact on their lives and incomes. Before, Kumba could hardly feed his family, but this year he can pay his 5 children's school fees and buy them new clothes. He has even invested in a new business, raising chickens.
I'm not only improving the diet of the family, but also I'm taking care of the needs of the children. So I think it's had a tremendous impact, which has allowed me to move forward in my life.
So far, IFAD has worked with 250,000 people in this area to grow, sell, and eat local foods. The hungry season here has now decreased from 6 months to less than 1 month. More than 5,000 previously unemployed people now have jobs, and farmers are finally earning a living. All this from encouraging people to eat what they grow.
Well, that report was from the International Fund for Agricultural Development, a United Nations agency. Well, it's time now for a short break. Still to come on Africa 54, it was an all-white Easter Sunday for the Kardashians. We'll be right back.
If you've just joined us, I'm Mariama Diallo, and here is a quick recap of today's headlines. In Kenya, civilians donate blood to assist more than 80 victims of the Garissa attack. In Mali, French commandos free a Dutch hostage from Al-Qaeda-linked group 3 years after he was taken captive. And the Egyptian capital, Cairo, holds the second International Cartoon Conference to shed light on issues such as addiction, smoking, and pollution. Finally, in Morocco, Rashid El Mourabi finishes the first stage of the so-called Marathon de Sable. That's it for today. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.
Welcome back to Africa 54. Here's what's trending. Talk about making an entrance. Kanye West, Kim Kardashian and daughter North were all in white as they attended church on Easter Sunday. Kim sported a sleeveless top and mermaid skirt. Meanwhile, the other members of the Kardashian clan were keeping up with the white theme as well. And in other keeping up with the Kardashians news, ABC News says that Diane Sawyer will conduct a 2-hour interview with Bruce Jenner that will air on Friday, April 24th. The former Olympic champion and patriarch of the Kardashian television clan will give a far-ranging interview to discuss reports that he is transgender. Jenner has not spoken publicly about it, but he has been looking more feminine in appearance, and those in his inner circle have not challenged the speculation that he is preparing to live as a woman. And finally, a YouTube superstar branches out. Beauty guru superstar Michelle Phan began by posting makeup tutorials on YouTube in 2007, just 2 years after the video site was founded. Today, she has over 7 million subscribers. Her latest project is launching her own online network of original content called Icon. Icon is currently available on YouTube and in app form. Phan is so well known that even Michelle Obama has asked for beauty tips. And that is what is trending today. And that's our show for today. Be sure to watch Africa 54 on our website at voaafrica.com. For more news, tune in to VOA's evening radio show, Africa News Tonight at 1800 UTC and in the mornings to Daybreak Africa between 0300 and 0600 UTC Monday through Friday. Thanks a lot for watching from all of us here in Washington. Have a good night. We are able to touch on things that are important to people on an everyday basis. Hello and welcome. I'm Vincent McCory. This is Africa 54. In a lively half hour, news, sports, health, lifestyle information, comments from our viewers. Africa 54, the best for Africa, about Africa. Join us only on VOA.